So recently they released Resplendent Phoenix as a playable character in Princess Connect, which is a gacha game that Cygames runs. So in celebration of that, today we're gonna be playing some Roost Dragoncraft, and also partially because I'm out of video ideas, so I'll take any excuse to make a video. This deck is not super strong or anything. It's pretty funny though. You like make the Dragon Roost come out, I mean the Phoenix Roost come out, and then half the cost of cards you draw. And the main goal is just to draw a ton of cards that are discounted and then blow your opponent up with stuff like Goza and Bahamut. So yeah, pretty interesting deck. Not super strong or anything, but it's a bit fun. So yeah, let's look at the deck that we're playing for today. So this is the list we're playing for today. I modified it off the tournament winning list. Mainly I just put in Boom Devil because I felt this deck didn't have enough damage, so running Boom Devil to help. And also it's a bit more extra 7 cost and above cards to fuse into Dragon Devouring Dread, so that's good. The main star of this deck is of course Resplendent Phoenix. Her evolve effect will summon Phoenix Roost on the board. While Phoenix Roost is on the board, whenever a player adds a card to their hand, it can be drawing or generating. It halves its costs, so obviously it's pretty bad that it affects your opponent as well, but if it only affected you, it will probably be a bit too broken, so I guess that's their way of balancing it. The main goal is of course you spend your early games ramping as Dragon does. On your evo turn you evolve Resplendent Phoenix to summon out her Roost, and then you use cards like Oracle or Dragonic Call, Dragonic Council, Zelganea, Wings of Tomorrow, Pumpkin Dragon. Use these cards to draw into your deck as much as possible, and you draw a ton of discounted cards. Especially you're looking to discount cards like Bahamut, Goza, Boom Devil. These are your main damage sources. So Georges as well. If once you discount him, his fall damage is actually quite a lot. So yeah, you just summon the Roost, you draw these cards, and then you burst your opponent down with unhealthy amounts of damage. And that's basically the whole deck. We don't have space to run Ramya in this deck because we have no cards to buffer, and we want to spend our evo points on Resplendent Phoenix, so we run Dragon Devouring Dread, which is a ramp card that is better for this deck because if you draw stuff like Bahamut, Goza, Boom Devil early on, you don't really want to play them for their full cost. So you just chuck them into the Dragon Devouring Dread to ramp with them, and then after you get a Resplendent Phoenix and her Roost on board, you can use the third fuse effect to draw 2 cards and they'll be discounted. So nice little combo there. So yeah, that's the deck we're playing for today. Let's look at some games. Our first match for today is against Dragon, and we are going to be going first. Dragon is usually the ramp phase Dragon, but I mean maybe if we're lucky it can be the mirror or something and we can have some shenanigans that way. Generally we don't like play against ramp because they are basically playing a superior version of our deck. We do give them the Phoenix Roost as well, so basically they have all the same damage cards we do. It's just that they don't have to spend their card slots on stuff like Resplendent Phoenix. So a bit unfortunate there. So of course early game we just look for ramp, Resplendent Phoenix, Dragon Devouring Dread, Oracle, and the 3 cost spell that we use to ramp. Those are the main cards to look for the mulligan. Here we can go ahead and just fuse our high cost cards into Dragon Devouring Dread to start ramping that way. We just drop Georges on board just to contest the board because we are a bit behind on the board right now, which is not super great for us. Got a Curse Fervor here, we can use that to ramp of course. And then we can fuse into the Pumpkin Dragon to ramp as well. And then we can go ahead and get rid of this Adventurer just to reduce damage coming to our face. Right now we have no cards to draw, but once we pick up a 7 cost or higher, we can just throw that into Dragon Devouring Dread and we can ramp that way. My opponent just drops the Roy here, thankfully though the Phoenix can just trade into that, so that's fine, the Resplendent Phoenix. And my opponent is having some fun I guess with their emotes, so we do emote back at them and we just go ahead and pop their Roy as well. So we're having a bit of a conversation here, not really BM. This is a rare occasion where the emotes aren't actually about BM. My opponent will evolve their Jerva here, and they will trade as well to get the 5 damage into my face. Probably looking to finish me off with Goza at some point. Pick up Dragon Devouring Dread off the top here, we can go ahead and fuse that in to draw 2 more cards. Pick up Wings of Tomorrow, we can chain that into more cards, which is very nice. Then we can go ahead and And we just go ahead and drop an emote here before dropping Bahamut, nuke them for 12 damage here. And then we can use Tiamat to heal up as well to make sure we don't die to any surprise lethals from Gandagoza. Opponent drops another Jerva, which is fine. Don't really mind. And we'll evolve the Jerva as well. And then with Reggie as well, they will go ahead and I guess they can Storm my face, or they do trade here. They trade the Jerva as well and then use the effect to clear Bahamut. Probably play around Gandagoza since they are low. Got Pumpkin Dragon here, we can use that to heal and try to find more damage choices. Don't really find a good one at this point. Got another Pumpkin Dragon we can draw into our deck more, and we are at full now. And with this Draconic Call, we now have 2 Gandagozas for a nice 18 damage burst if we really need it. So this is my opponent's Gandagoza, which they will buff a ton and they will heal as well. And we'll take 12 damage to the face right here, but we are fine because we have 2 Gandagozas for a lethal, so go ahead and emote at my opponent just for a nice little finisher, and then we can go ahead and drop 2 Gandagozas. And that's it for this game. Let's move on to the next game. Next we have a game against Shadow here, and we are going first again. I think there's a lot of going first games in this one because I just went first a lot while playing this deck somehow. You keep Dragon Devouring Dread to ramp here and just toss the rest. Fortunately, we pick out a bunch of very heavy cards. It's a bit hard to work with, but at least we have Dragon Devouring Dread to ramp off of them. We go ahead and have the Dragon Devouring Dread eat itself. Let me just pass. My opponent will pass as well, which is fine. We do manage to pick up Resplendent Phoenix here, which is good. And we can go ahead and eat up the Boom Devil to just ramp here. Opponent drops Ominous Tyrant, which is not great for us. Yeah, Bahamut here we could fuse into the Dragon Devouring Dread to draw more, but at this point we already have Resplendent Phoenix. So it's actually better value to just hold on to our card draw until after we evolve it. So that's why we're not using any of these here. Let's go ahead and play Tiamat to get rid of the Gatekeeper so that they can't get extra last words value out of it. Turns out they do end up getting extra value out of another one in their hand though, so that's a bit unfortunate I suppose. And they use Wicked Rebirth as well to pop their Unleasher so that they can summon the Lich, which is slightly annoying but it's fine I guess. Unfortunately we don't have time to play with Thunder Phoenix here, so we just go ahead and accelerate Baha to just clear this board. Opponent will drop the Sarcophagus Wraith as well as the Psycho Pump, and they are now at last words 10 as well as Gramarye active on turn 6, so a pretty high roll from them I would say, but we can high roll too, we are a high roll deck after all. Go ahead and evolve Resplendent Phoenix here. And we just pass because we see the second one, we're probably gonna make use of the second one here, which is why we just pass here. You might be wondering how I'm gonna answer their board whatever they play, and the answer is I'll just wing it after I evolve Resplendent Phoenix. Because that's how you play this deck. Your top decks for this deck are always stronger than the cards in your hand because of the roost, so we sort of have to rely on our top decks here. My opponent is gonna drop their Nightmare Devourer as well as use their Archangel of Remembrance to draw into their deck, which is fine. Go ahead and draw a second Resplendent Phoenix here. We can go ahead and use the Dragon Devouring Dread to draw 2 cards and hopefully pick out something nice. Got Gandagoza, which is quite nice. We use Draconic Call as well. And then we can just go ahead and fuse some cards into the Dragon Devouring Dread and use it to board clear. Normally you can look towards locking their board, but in this case I think they have stuff like Necro Impulse which will completely destroy me, so that's bad. Yeah, they dropped the Invincible Monster Trio, which is actually what we want here because we have 21 damage in our hand right now. So as long as they don't put out a ward that also heals, we should be fine. And then we'll go ahead and go with this board here, which is completely fine with me because then we can just completely destroy them here with Gandagoza. So bit of a high roll game, but my opponent did kind of high roll too, so like fair is fair I guess. That's it for this game. Let's move on to the next game. Our last match here will be against Haven, going first again. don't expect the most competitive games ever because this deck isn't that strong. It's more of a meme deck, so that's why I hope you'll forgive me that all the games are going first here. So of course we just keep Resplendent Phoenix, toss the rest. We pick out a bunch of ramp here, which is very nice, exactly what we want to see really. We just pass, of course, nothing to do with this hand. Pick up more ramp, always nice to see. Opponent will drop the Sacred Groundskeeper here. We pick up Pumpkin Dragon here, we'll just go ahead and fuse that into Dragon Devouring Dread. There is an argument for saving the Pumpkin Dragon for the Accelerate to draw more cards, but in this case we already want to play our ramp cards, so we have no time to play Pumpkin Dragon. So we just go ahead and have the Dragon Devouring Dread eat it instead. Bahamut here, we don't really need that, so we just have Dragon Devouring Dread eat that as well to ramp more. And then we can ramp even more with Rowan's Roar here. Opponent drops the Lunarian Paladin here, which is fine. They go ahead and evolve their Vengeful Sniper as well. We just take a bunch of damage here, which is fine. I mean, the Sacred Groundskeeper also comes out next turn, so that's that. Go ahead and evolve the Resplendent Phoenix here. And then we just go ahead and trade into the Vengeful, and then we just pass here and board lock them. We have a lot of board clear with Tiamat and Georgius next turn anyway, so it's better to limit their options this turn, I think. And opponent drops the Archangel of Evocation here, which will go ahead and increase their max HP, and we take a bit of damage here, but it's mostly negligible. For the Boom Devil here, we'll just go ahead and trade that in for more draw for now, because we'd rather draw more cards. Pick up the On Wings of Tomorrow, which is a very nice pickup. Use Tiamat to heal back up as well as clear most of their board. Finish it off with the Grand's Resolve here while drawing more cards. Then we can use the Council to draw even more into our deck. We did discard a bunch of cards, managed to pick up again the Goza and Dragonic Call, so things are looking pretty good for us. Opponent drops the Abdiel here to banish my Roost, which is annoying, but I guess I get a living Tiamat, which is some value. And just chip them down for a little bit. And we top deck the Resplendent Phoenix, so we're just gonna go ahead and play that. Yeah, we'd like to discount again the Goza, so go ahead and play our draw cards after that. Got another Gandagoza, which is nice, and we just fuse into the Dragon Devouring Dread to make hand space here. We play Dragonic Call to draw more Gandagoza. Now, even if they get rid of our second Roost, we already have enough, more than enough discounted cards to just destroy them completely, so we are fine there. That's my opponent's Anvil, which will mostly clear the board, and they will drop Abdiel here to get rid of my second Roost as well, to fully clear the board, I suppose. That's fine. We don't have lethal here, unfortunately, because they have a lot of health, but we can deal a ton of damage to them, so that's fine. Go ahead and fuse the Dragon Divine Dread just to make hand space. Drop again the Goza on them to just deal more damage. And then Pumpkin Dragon will draw more cards and heal up as well. Just to have more options, you know. We can't really use our second Gandagoza since they didn't have a trade target. We could have dropped Georgius, that was an option though, so that's worth considering. Here though, they will use the Vengeful Sniper as well as Set. And that's fine because we can... Actually the Set is quite helpful here because we can trade Gandagoza into it. And then Gandagoza will go down, which will allow us to play Bahamut for more value here. It's actually exact lethal here, so that's it for this game. So those are all the games I have for you today. Hopefully it gave you some idea of how this deck worked. I wouldn't really recommend it if you're trying to play a serious deck, but if you're just trying to have fun, this deck's pretty fun and it's like decently strong for a meme deck as well, so it's not too bad. I did somehow manage to clear a final stage. I mean, I did somehow manage to make it into Group A final stage for the Grand Prix with only this deck, so it's not that bad. But yeah, I mean, mostly just wanted to play Resplendent Phoenix here. That was really it. You get eaten alive by Artifact though, just keep that in mind because you discount every single paradigm shift they add to their hand. And then they can play Artifact Carrier and summon out two of the Storm artifacts for like 4 cost, which is pretty broken, so just watch out for that, I guess. But yeah, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.